I made a shocking discovery today when I was hanging out over at MEUK's Discord server.
Are we gonna keep on fighting? Are we gonna keep on dividing? Are we gonna keep on fighting? Are we gonna keep on dividing? Well, are we gonna keep on fighting? Are we gonna keep on dividing? Are we gonna keep on fighting? Are we gonna keep on dividing? Well, did you hear what I said? It's all about...
Am I still cutting out? Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you now. You're pretty low. I'll turn you up a bit.
So researching the 1.22 was very challenging. It appears that there's actually some updates here on Wikipedia, meaning challenging is the origination from it. I've been in contact with this Michael Bezier guy. He does these. He's a little short dude on YouTube who wears a bow tie and does all these math examples. Fantastic channel. I've reached out to him to do the Bessel order, the first kind of the first order, because I was curious in the origination of the 1.22. Bev, have you done much digging as far as when the coordinate systems came into play in the early 1800s?
What the coordinate systems for mapping?
1855 to 1830. I'm either cutting out or whatever. I didn't hear that. Go ahead.
Yeah, you are. You're cutting out.
Yeah, fuck. I'll rejoin at a later date when I got a better signal, man. I'm fucking on the move, so. Anyway, thanks, boys.
All right, cheers. And you hear QE going on about the 1.22, and I've heard 10th talk about the 1.22, but that to me was just it was geometry measurement. So
if you look at the Earth curvature calculators, 1 foot 1 mile away, it's 1.22459 miles. Okay, so that 1.22 shows up. If we use that 1.22, I can calculate the distance to the horizon using that 1.22, just with basic Euclidean math, just calculating that 1.22, right? So for instance, if we have our eyesight, like I said, that eyesight at 5.77 foot observer, he's got an angular slope of 0.213. I can times that by 57.30 and get a 1.22. So it's not exactly concrete on the math, but it shows you that it's always deriving from somewhere that's that 1.22. And then when you put, I did these videos. John QE started doing it after I posted the 1.22. I think I was the first to bring it up. In some of my videos, I already mentioned the 1.22, right? Because the origins of the Aries disk, the wavelength of light, studying it, and actually Aries disk came up with the 1.17, which was used in navigation. For instance, on maps back in the day, like 150 years ago, 200 years ago, they would take towers, or lighthouses, and they would square root the distance and times it by the 1.17 and get the distance to the lighthouse. So they were using this 1.17 before we had a spherical model based on that 1.22459, right? So it's quite interesting if you get into it deeper, because getting the Bessel function, the first order, the first kind, it can be simplified. I think Frosner is his name. He did an equation, Frosner equation, which is Q1 is equal to I'd have to look it up again. But they break it down using Frosner's equation to get the 1.22. So it all comes down to coordinate systems, all comes down to circle apertures, and just really how do we reinforce what we see to be a ball, as opposing to what we see is to be a plane. We got to ignore that. Let's figure out, because the way I see it is that there was a zealotry towards proving the ball. Do you understand? It wasn't that they were out to deceive everybody. There was a zealotry to prove it. So they came up with all these maths and all these coordinate systems, and try, right? So 1948, fellas, they shot a rocket up there, and if they saw the Earth was a ball, or if they didn't see the Earth was a ball, all that speculation for nothing, right? All those coordinate systems, all that questioning, humming and hawing over, how do we prove something we can't see, goes out the window as soon as the technology catches up, right? So the
You know,
technology is. Yeah, sorry.
technology sometimes dumbs us down in a way. You know, there were great thinkers in those times because that's basically what they did, right? Mathematicians, theoretical scientists, whatever. All they did for the whole lifetime was think, right?
That's right.
Observe.
And they were paid. Here's this. I don't know if you know this or researched this, but in the early 1800s, late 1700s, early 1800s, people that were thinkers were paid to think. They were literally paid by rich people. In fact, the way that the economy was working for a lot of these mathematicians and artists and whatever, they would actually have to sell ideas to the rich to get funding. So it's no different than the pharmaceutical company now. But back then, that was the thing. If you were going to be into art, like anything, math, sciences, the crazier the idea, the crazier the art, if you were commissioned, it really was this. I don't see the motivation as being evil. Like when you look back, it was just trying to figure out where you live, right? And so you see the turn, I suppose, once you discovered the truth, that you've kind of gotten the answers, and then you realize, Earth isn't flat, then you have to lie, then you have to use all these parlor tricks, then you have to keep going, reiterating sticks and shadows, reiterating boats over the horizon, and you have to do it tenfold, because once you realize it's not, then these are the tricks that you have to do, or else you look like a fool, right? You look like an idiot. For the last 200 years, you've been telling everybody it's a fucking ball, spinning, Your technology catches up with you, and you can't prove it's spinning with your technology. You can't prove it's curved with technology. So what do? You got grid systems, you got CGI, you got cartoons, you got stories from 2,000 years ago that, 2,000 years ago, these people were really smart. Well, yeah, they were fucking smart, but then most people nowadays, for sure. But it doesn't mean sticks and shadows prove a ball. It doesn't
That's
mean
the
that
whole
you can
point.
prove.
You can use technology today, and any common man off the street and can do the observations. It's over, right? They can't hide it for much longer. There's only so much, textbook stuff and stuff on the media that they can do. People are catching up to that.
Emma, check DMs. Emma. Sorry.
I'm not big on the maths thing because I think the swap from numbers it's just a way to explain things to people that they can't understand. 3.142 is a number, and when you say that's pi, that doesn't mean anything to anybody. It doesn't help anybody. And it doesn't help school kids. It doesn't help them understand what it is, how it functions, and how it works. Which I think is what Gods was trying to get to explain earlier, Zanuck. To explain something means more than just sprout out a load of numbers. The numbers mean nothing unless you explain what the numbers mean and where they came from. And that's why I don't like numbers. It's just a way for people to confuse other people, and then the other people to think that one of them's cleverer than the other because they know what the numbers mean. It's like you're speaking a different language. You're just spouting out a load of numbers. Doesn't actually mean anything. So I'm not too keen on the idea of using numbers to express things. You'd be much better off trying to help and explain what the process behind it.
I can back you up on that, Bev, a little bit. I mean, when you draw a horizontal line on a sphere and you can, physically show them how to measure this, or just, small, easy numbers, whatever, they can understand that. But when you give them the formula and blah, 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 and work it out on paper without visually showing them, most people can't visualize that. They can't do the form. They don't even want to deal with the formula, much less be able to figure it out. But if you show them that picture, and this is how it's supposed to be, and this is what's actually happening, it's in their mind forever.
Pictures, they work far better than words.
Yeah, I'm looking for the for that 1.22 within the optics, and
It's everywhere in lenses and angular resolution. It's 1.22 is everywhere. I think the other guys explain it as the hijacking of perspective and how they tell people how our lens works, how our eyeballs work, and other lenses work, and then reverse engineer it into Earth curve. You know, what we're supposed to see or expect to see or whatever. Still amazing how all the surveyors that come on here as Globers don't want to talk about drop from horizontal or even creating a horizontal line. They even start to say that it's impossible. I can't even get past that. That's what surveying does. Like 101 first day, you know, I don't get that part.
I don't know. I mean, it could end up being it's like a pi, right, or whatever. 1.22. It's the distance between the top and bottom stadia hair is identified as I, stadia hair spacing. The distance between the top and bottom reading of the rod is L, or maybe big I, the stadia intercept. The distance from the operator's eye to the stadia reticle is identified as F, and then the distance from the operator's eye to the level rod is identified as D, which gives you D over I equals F over little I, which then leads out into extrapolating the formula, and then the ratio of the focal length to the stadia hair, it gets designated as K, so that equals F over I, and then the distance to the the instrument operator's eye to the rod is D equals KL. You know, it's sort of, until you put numbers in their places, I'm not so sure how that'd work. But it'd be interesting to work out if K, the stadia interval factor, is 1.22, but I can't see how it could be. Maybe, I don't know. Interesting. I'll have to look into that.
Well, the 1.22 is to recognize that effect that has to do with light passing through circular aperture. And the 1.22 is a quantification of the maximum angle limitation from the 2 points from the center to the outer frame. Right? This is based on the size. I think when they came up with the 1.22 was based on 0.04 centimeters. I think I could be wrong with the math or what size they used, but I think they were using 450 nanometers with 0.04 centimeters, I think, or 0.4 centimeters. Yeah, to do this exercise, and I came across, this is a year ago now. I lost some of the over a year ago. I lost some of the origins of the information, but they apply it to, well, the Bessel function. From what I understood, I was applying it to a cylinder. So if you were bouncing light off the edge of a round cylinder, you'd have to look at the first order, the first function. If you can find it, you'll see what I'm talking about. And I could be wrong. This is just going off of memory, but this is something to look into, that first order, because what it will do, when Bessel came in, Bessel was one of the guys. Yeah, I have to go back and reread this shit again. But Bev, you know, they were all mad about coordinate systems, right? As soon as it was just a mad thing. They were always trying to figure out these constants and how they worked.
I don't know. I think they just
'Cause, you know, we
map
have
the
these constants, right?
land
Like,
we do with
can you
a
guys hear me?
normal
Am I
map. I
coming
don't
through
think
here?
they've ever done anything.
Oh, maybe I'm not coming through.
No, I can hear.
Here, I'm talking, thinking you guys can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear. Can you not hear us?
Oh, fuck. My headphones aren't working. So I'm here talking. Hello?
No, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. I couldn't hear you guys responding back to me.
No,
Yeah, we
no.
can. We can.
If you're still talking,
No, I just didn't have the speak. There we go. I didn't have. If anybody
that's
was.
better.
Anyway.
We were
The-
running
the-
the crap out of
Yeah, right.
Shut
Bev, that's
up.
something. That's something that's a mystery for me right now. Is getting that first order of the first kind going. Finding like the actual math. I have an equation actually I came across today, but again, it's relative to what we quantify nanometers. You know, right? So. I just think that it's not well understood in a lot of these conversations. Like, for instance, Zanuck doesn't think the slope happens. Doesn't think that there's a 3D effect with our eye, depth of perception, depth of field. Right. This is caused by perspective. Right. So they in video programming, when they try to and this is something you could check out too, is the coordinates they use for video programming. It's complex stuff. I mean, I can understand a drop of it. The mathematics in all the the code and everything they use, but they have issues emulating perspective because of this very slope issue of the human eye, right? Stuff rising to eye level. It's a common thing. I think I came across an article regarding the Oculus, which is a new 3D virtual reality headgear you can wear. And originally got into that, researching that, and then I think Gleam sent me what's called egocentric distance. Have you heard of it?
No.
So this is what they
Ego.
Yeah, egocentric distance. So this is basically your perception of things in relation to your vision. So in a roundabout way, what I said there, it's a little more complex than that. But basically, it's the spatial relations to objects based on vision. It's called egocentric distance, and there's a slant in our vision. So if we were to graph it out, XY coordinates, we'd see a slant in our vision, okay? And this is what they document. This is all there. The slant is what causes perspective. Without that optical slant, we wouldn't have spatial relation, we wouldn't have angular relations, none of it, right? So because our lens is convex, and we have a circular aperture, we're limited, not limited, but we're subjected to angles because we have a lens, right? We have a convex lens. So you got all kinds of distortions, you've got all kinds of issues with cone of vision, or the circle of confusion. Yeah, it's cone of vision or circle of confusion. They mix those terms up.
Yeah,
But you should bring it up because a lot of people don't account for the slope. Slope?
It
What do you
doesn't-
mean slope?
No, it doesn't alter the geometry.
No, but the understanding of your vision changes. If you don't think there's an optical slant in your vision causing the ground to rise upward into the center focal position, and you're equating that to just be perspective, you're not fully understanding what's happening. You're just calling it perspective. You don't know why it's happening. You don't know there's an angle slope to it. You just think it's perspective. Well, this is the problem. So people like Jose, I'll go to his channel and I'll ask him what causes the horizon. And he'll say perspective. And then I'll say earth. Then it's not earth curve, correct? You get a few chuckles, right? The point is that there's not a lot of understanding of convergence of light, being no magnitude there. There's no understanding of the slope of the human eye. And all you can do is just go to video game programming and they discuss it. They tell you exactly what's going on with the eye, the slope degree. They'll give you a plus or minus. I should just get a PDF and send it to you. But just go look at this in there, and it's around 0.022, I think, is the slope factor. And it could be applied relative to the size of the eye. Some of the eyes are 24.5 millimeters, some are 24.2 millimeters, right?
but they still working in the same way.
Yeah, because it's a circular aperture and it's based on a wavelength of light. See, the idea is the longer wavelength of light, you get more diffraction. right? The shorter wavelength of light, you get less diffraction. It's the same with refraction, I think, too. The shorter the wavelength, I think it might be reversed with refraction. I could be wrong with that. You might want to correct me, but the shorter wavelength of light, you have less refraction as well. So they could be coinciding together. I just have to refresh my memory on that.
So
Yeah,
here's my.
but
I'm sorry.
can I
here's
just
my
say this
joke,
real quick?
Joke of the day. Yeah, go ahead.
no, say that joke. I want to hear it.
I don't know if it's a good joke, and I'm just going to say it and suffer the consequences. But do Asian people see horizons at a different distance?
No, not at all.
Do you get the joke?
Well, I'm kind of
It's
on a
not
serious.
Slant that.
Uh,
All right. Boom. Yeah, boo.
yeah.
Tip-
You guys all
Don't
acknowledge. You guys
forget
all
to tip your
acknowledge.
waitresses.
You guys all acknowledge if we were to do an orthographic view, we were to draw the vision of the human and the feet of the human at a distance of 3 miles, it would be 2 parallel lines, correct?
But if we're doing geometry of the land,
Hold
or
on. Listen. In reality, if we were to do an orthographic drawing, I know that's an oxymoron, in reality, orthographic. What I mean is if we were to do a side-on view of reality, not apply optics, not apply Earth curve, not to presuppose anything, we would have 2 parallel lines. The observer's line of sight is directly 90 degrees, and 90 degree perpendicular to the horizon, and the horizon. So the vision would be parallel to the ground, right? We're negating optics, correct?
if
I agree with that.
you're looking horizontally, then
That's right, 90 degrees. So if you're out looking at 90 degrees, right? So you have 2 parallel lines, but in reality, you have an apparent convergence. Now, I'm trying to find, Bev, this is a really good book. Check it out. It's Encyclopedia Britannica 1911. They have all the books of Euclid there, and they discuss it thoroughly, and this is where I got a lot of my information from. Let me just get you the actual book, the name title for it. It's at Library of Congress, and in there is a beautiful Euclid section, which I'm sure at this point you've already exhausted all the options. But there's one thing in there I'm trying to find again just to show you that it says that converging lines have no magnitude. In other words, there's no length, breadth to it, no solid to it, nothing to measure, right? This is in geometry. Geometry is like a ratio, a measurement, right?
a point is that of which has no magnitude, or
That's right.
no parts, or so.
That's right.
How
So
can
any
converging lines also be the same?
They don't have any magnitude. No converging lines have any magnitude. There's
But
not solid.
a
there's no
line
length.
does have a magnitude, though. That's what makes it a line.
That's right. But a converging line has nothing. An apparent convergence has no magnitude. There's no length.
Doesn't
No
make
length
any
to-
sense.
Well, this is according. I'm going to give you the book. There's no magnitude to any converging lines. So 2 lines that appear to converge, there's no magnitude to it. There's no solid to it. There's no length to it. There's nothing measurable because it's an apparent convergence, right? You understand what I'm saying?
No, because like to me, if a point, it's the first one in Euclidean geometry, right? A point is that of which has no parts or magnitude. Right? It has
Right.
no magnitude.
There's no length. No,
because it's not there. There's
That's right.
nothing.
That's
Dad,
right.
I
So
I
we,
think you're talking about the point where they appear to converge, not the actual line, the parallel
that's what
line.
I'm talking about. I'm talking about the
Okay,
apparent
all right.
convergence. It has no magnitude. So in this book, it says any lines that converge, apparently converge, have no magnitude. Right? Has no magnitude. There's no length to it. Anything that's optically converging has no length, measurement, solid, nothing to it. It's an apparent convergence. Would you agree with that?
With some sort of perspective, right? Because that's not geometry, is it?
No, but I'm just saying, in this book, I have to dig it out again, or I'll try to find it. It's basically, in my understanding, it's saying that whoever made that statement understood perspective. Because when we're looking at lines, as they move
It
away
must be
from us,
perspective geometry then, or something.
no, it's in this book.
Because if lines actually converge, then they
don't
converge.
They don't converge. That's what I'm saying. The apparent convergence has no magnitude. There's no length. There's no solid. There's no measurement to it.
If
Nothing.
the line has an infinite length, a straight line.
Nothing
and-
apparent does, though. Nothing. When it's apparent, there's nothing to measure.
But that's
No
not
apparent-
geometry, though, is it? I mean, like there's no point having a geometry if there's nothing there.
What I'm just trying to say to you is that when you take an orthographic drawing, and we were dealing with globe heads, we had an observer there, and we draw a straight line to the horizon, and we draw his vision straight across. In reality, that's what's happening. Add in perspective, add in vision, then you have a convergence, an apparent convergence. At that point of apparent convergence, there is no magnitude, nothing solid, no lines, nothing to measure, nothing.
I can't go along with that because that just doesn't make any sense to me. I can't.
So the lines appearing to converge are not converging. They have no magnitude. That doesn't make sense to you. When things have magnitude, they have length. They have a solid. They have a figure.
Like
they have
a
something
line.
to measure.
Yeah.
That's right. If there is no line, if there is no measurement, it has no magnitude. You understand?
It's nothing then. It doesn't exist.
That's right. Exactly. That's the horizon. It's an apparent convergence of light, right? You can, whether you want to manifest these as a physics solid light or a solid line or just an imaginary beam of light, if you want to play it that way. There is an optical compression, an optical convergence of these lines of light. This is based on optics. In reality, everything is parallel. So our vision to the ground would be parallel indefinitely, minus, obviously the atmosphere conditions and so forth, and the limitation to our eye. But needless to say, if we were to draw it, we wouldn't draw a convergence point if we were to draw reality. But we want to draw, it's hard to say reality because reality is we see the convergence, right? But we know that it's an apparent effect, meaning that it's parallel at this position. So 3 miles away, that 2,500-foot clouds, they aren't touching the ground there. They're not even close to touching the ground there. They're still 2,500 feet up in the air, but they appear to meet in the center of our vision, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is an apparent convergence. There has no magnitude there. There's nothing to measure there. It's an optical effect.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying by that.
We call it perspective compression.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go. But it would just be an optical compression based on the wavelength of light and the size of the aperture, right? So, anyway, it's a great read, getting into the egocentric distance. People don't want to have that conversation, particularly like Zanuck. They don't want to talk about the slope of the eye. It causes the ground to rise up, right?
It's perspective compression that causes that to happen.
Well, it's the convexity of your lens. If you ever look at a convex lens and what it does to light, it converges it into a point, cone shape, right? So that rising of the ground is due to the cause of your convex of the lens, right? 3D perspective, 3D depth of field. Just go look at the egocentric distance model. Go look at how they program video games. They have to account for the slope of the eye.
That's
it.
You just look at the
let's call it the
you
slant.
just look at the stadia hairs on any optical device, because you've got one underneath the horizontal and one above the horizontal, and both of them are the measurement. You can do a measurement for distance across them as something goes further away, because
here's the difference.
They both compress. Yes. Upwards and downwards towards the horizontal.
Yeah, but that's again, it's a convex lens through your telescope, right?
Well, it's a function of the actual lens and the.
Yeah, you have your lens is a convex lens in all situations. They're all going to be cone vision, rising and squishing because it's a convex lens. That's what it does to light.
And dropping as well. It all works to the center.
Well, the dropping is okay. The convergence point is based on
from the sides as well.
Well, we see in we have a 60-degree view, 180 degree field of view, but out of that 180, we've got a 60-degree view that lies in our cone of vision, right? So just look up slant in the opticals, egocentric distance. A lot of people don't want to admit it. A lot of people don't want to have that conversation. A lot of people want to think that the Earth curvature calculators, the arc, is actual physical Earth curve as opposing to the optical slant of the human eye. There's just not enough discussion going about it. That's it. So I keep doing what I can. I keep spreading the 1.22 that pisses off Zanuck. The 1.22 is pretty significant as far as the correlation to Earth curve, to the angular degree of our eye, and then being able to deduce the spherical geometry of the Earth using the 1.22 is also another interesting anomaly, coincidence. I don't know what you want to call it, but it's definitely correlated.
What do you mean spherical?
It's just the hijacking of our eye, man. Our eye. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if we lived on some type of some type of eye. The way the way the dome is suggested to be, the way that the center of the Earth is supposed to be this black hole. I wouldn't be surprised if it's sort of not eye shaped in the spherical sense, but the dome around it, and then the flat iris and the not flat iris, but the flat pupil in the middle.
So
Apple of our eye.
what I'm gonna say is, if you only have one eye, are you seeing in 3D?
You still see in 3D, dude.
Well, one eye.
Your eye has depth of perception, the shape of it. Yeah, you have angle relation, spatial relation due to the shape of your eye. The bifocal or monofocal has nothing to do with 3D per se, because you can still see 3D with one eye. Close one eye, you can still see 3D effects.
Somewhat, but go all day with that, and then you could tell me how far the beer is.
How far the what is?
You could tell me how far the beer is, and I ask you to crack that beer.
But you might have to have some coordination changes based on depth of perception once you lose one eye, but you still be able to see the spatial relation created by the convexity and the shape of our eye, right?
Yeah. So you trust that guy to drive a car?
I've closed one of my eyes driving before. I could do it.
Do you like doing it?
That's a different question altogether, man.
Okay. What about the next guy that's coming down the road head on with you?
Hey, man, I'm not going to stop a guy from driving a car because he has one eye.
I would. Different perception. I because I wear glasses, and one eye is better than the other one, but they play with each other, that way I can see exactly where I'm at. Not taking a dig at you or anything like that, but
go silent.
No, not at all, man. Come on. But as far as like perspective itself, I'm all about that. The eye itself is so mysterious that you have a lens that's in front of the other lens, and there's a reader on the back end of your eye that reads the stuff that's coming in. But without two lenses, you're not gonna be able to get the information that you need to see what's going on. You know what I mean?
To my knowledge, the only thing between one eye and two eyes in the human, I don't know about the animal kingdom, but in humans is your how far you can see to each side. That's the only thing I think it affects. Like, you still have every depth perception, 3D, all your vision is the same. It doesn't change anything other than your peripheral. As far as I know, I'm not really,
You ever rode a motorcycle?
Sure.
I just tried it. I think you're right.
When you ride a motorcycle, you focus on one point. You get 30% of your eye is focused on one point, because I rode motorcycles before. And I thought about it when I rode the motorcycle. I couldn't see anything outside of the 30%, what I'm looking at in front of me.
Yeah, but you're talking about focusing now. You can do that with one eye. Close
Yeah,
one
you
eye
can
and
focus
look
on
at
one eye.
one spot. You're focusing. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The only thing
Yeah, you
two
can
eyes
still
change
have
is
peripheral vision
Yeah.
riding a motorcycle.
everything else is the same, as far as I know.
But okay, well, I was riding hard, so I had to focus what was in front of me versus what was beside me. But the eye is a weird thing. And I think, Beth, I looked at Home Depot and I think I found my cable that I'm gonna buy, so I can show something in perspective in my backyard. So I'll let you know.
Yeah.
It was a
Bev,
good
did you
shot today, Bev.
did you look at the diffraction limited systems? Have you Googled that yet?
No.
Yeah, I guess yeah.
Yeah.
You get it. It's a lot of math. And it's a lot of it's the Bessel function, man. The first, second, third order, whatever, man. It's just mind blowing. The thoughts that these guys had to have, and what I don't know if you guys remind yourself, but when I go and research these guys and I start studying it again, I have to remind myself that they're taking somebody else's work and trying to expand on it, if you will. Like in particular, sorry, I'm distracted here. 1 second, I'll be back.
Yeah. Well, I guess I don't bother doing any of that. All we'll do is we'll sort out horizontal first, keep it simple, like we do. We'll sort out horizontal, and then once we've sorted out horizontal, we can start sorting out plotting horizontal and looking at it for a longer distance, seeing what happens. But we need to have a baseline.
Do you find it just sort of, do you ever consider it to be slightly asinine, since you can get into a helicopter and you can have 2, 3, 4 observers simultaneously experience different drop, different curve heights, like all at the same time? And then
all the eyes are different.
And then while you're doing it, they don't use optics at all in any of the observations. Meanwhile, the main observer, who's like, can see all of the ones below, sees a level plane for hundreds of miles. And yet the ones that are closest to the grounds are the one calculating dip and drop. Do you not find that asinine?
I like, to do it over land is stupid to me anyway. The only place you're ever going to find curvature of whatever the so-called shape is going to be over water or using water. That's the only...
The problem with it, though, is here's the problem, is that you induce refraction, which causes a bending of light to appear to move downward over the diffraction point. This is the issue with the argument a lot of people aren't recognizing, is that water is the most terrible thing you can do it over, because what you should be able to do is just take elevation and distance data and model it in small format, apply physics to that small format, and notice that they don't change. Like, for instance, in a lot of GPS, I'd have to back this up, but in a lot of calculations for GPS, they actually have a negation on rotation by canceling, the two functions cancel each other out, calling it zero rotation. So I wonder why it's been led along this trail. I mean, obviously if you look at the bigger picture, 2016, when I got into Flat Earth, Donald Trump got elected, we're now having the discussion where it appears that flat earthers are, in the lead, if you will, with the argument. I mean, compared to where we first started. But don't you see the bigger picture of, as far as the gag is just unbelievable, because what it's really doing to the human mind, it's telling that somebody high above doesn't see any curvature. The curvature is way down there, but somebody below can measure it exponentially and actually calculate the dip and feet hidden and Like, I don't mean to reiterate this over and over again, but there's a mind breaking here that what I mean is they keep using that same gag and showing you how everybody's mind's fucking broken. Because just alone thinking you can calculate curvature standing on the shore, but then you're elevated and there's no curvature to be seen, or it's 100 miles away or 50 miles away. Meanwhile, those 4 observers at different elevations are calculating dip or drop. Do you understand?
Only thing I'm gonna ask you is, you keep on bringing up refraction itself. What is refraction in your mind?
That's a direction that I'm not wanting to go. What I'm saying is that you're telling people in their minds that they can calculate curvature for 6 feet high, when we already know immediately, we can observe those 3 different observers, arbitrarily numbered, insignificant. We have fucking 500 observers. They'll all see an apparent junction of the sky and ground, and they'll still be lower than the original position, and that person doesn't see any curvature whatsoever. So you have to admit that's a mind. It's a total laugh. It's a total joke, because we're still debating it. The fact is that the mind should have been already shattered at this point for the Globers, but you see, the lie is too big. The lie is too fucking big, because that's how obvious it is for me. You're telling the human mind that you can measure dip or drop at 6 feet, but I can fly a plane and there's no curve. It's a joke, guys. They love destroying. They love the fact that your mind is destroyed, and it's not. You can't even solve it that easily.
Oh, it's very easy. As long as you sit back and listen to what's going on. As far as what you can see, refraction. I mean, the Black Swan does have a little bit of refraction in it, a little bit, but.
Can you tell me what the Black Swan is about? Like, why does it prove the geometrical ball is incorrect?
I'll tell you what I feel. I can't speak for anybody else. If I can go to the beach myself and lay down on my belly, and I take my camera out, which is coming pretty soon, and when the water laps upon the shore in my face, because I should be almost in the water, and I can shoot the optic, because I can't see that great, but yet the horizon is farther than the oil rigs. It shouldn't be like that if it was small.
Well, how about the position of the 2 oil rigs being 3 miles apart, and the first oil rig being 6 miles, and then the second being 9, and you still have the optical slant due to the refraction telephoto lens, which is the rising of the ground into the center focal point position.
Did you hear me?
Yeah, I did hear you. I understand. You're just saying
Yeah.
that you're just saying that you can see across the flat plane and the horizon's behind the.
Right.
I got it. So you acknowledge you acknowledge the present argument. So what is your deflection now? Why are you asking me about refraction?
I'm not worried about refraction.
Why don't you address what I just said, which is the joke is they keep doing it over and over again. They're telling you a 6-foot observer can calculate dip or drop, but yet we can go in an aircraft and there's no curvature. Now listen, this is pretty obvious, correct?
Yeah. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
So isn't it a fucking joke then?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
It's a
I
fucking joke.
I wouldn't give them no refraction.
So all the
anything
military
like that.
people doing this, if you're working for fucking China, good for you. The point is, it's a fucking joke, and I can't wait to release my documentary, because the point is, it's so bad. The human mind is so fractured in society that all it takes is like it's so easy to fracture the mind, and the fact that I'm on channels here that want to still do certain things is fine, but acknowledge the joke, and because that's really what it is, right? Joke's on you.
Jokes on who?
On all of us, dude. Joke's on us.
No.
I don't
live
have a
in
joke on me.
reality.
Yeah,
Okay, so it's not a
absolutely.
joke. But listen, gentlemen, I'm coming to you with a rational thought and a clear, concise statement, telling you that that's how obvious it is. I don't really get an agreement, but you understand that they're telling us over and over they can calculate drop at 6 feet, but we've been in an airplane. So what's the joke now? The joke is, do you continue to be a sucker, or what do you do? That's how easy it is to tell the Earth is not a fucking ball. But it's relentless. So what's going on? Help me out here.
Relentless to who?
Both sides, bro.
No, I don't believe I live on a ball.
Either do I, but the joke's on us, isn't it?
Well,
If
no,
it's
because we've seen through the joke. So how can
No,
the
it's-
joke be on us when we've seen through it?
because what's happening is you're still having the conversation with the person who's telling you over and over you're wrong, because I believe a 6-foot observer can calculate curvature. Have they
No,
been
I
up in
don't-
the air?
I don't give a shit what they think.
Yeah.
I can't
Well,
convince them. I can't convince them of anything. It's not my job to convince them of anything. I'm here to learn from people like Bev, from people like Redmond, from a wealth of different sources.
And you,
I know.
DP.
I know I'm right in what I see and what I have as my truth. It's not my job to tell anybody else. It's not your job to tell anybody else either. So don't take it on yourself to take that job on, because it's impossible.
Impossible.
It is impossible. I agree. I think part of the absurdity that I feel a little bit of sympathy for everybody involved, because what is the underlying message behind it? Well, it's destabilization of the education system. It's destabilization
No, it's
of
not destabilization of
the current one.
system.
Let me rephrase that.
It's
The current one.
fucked. The
Yeah,
education
already.
system is
I agree.
fucked.
I'm on your side. I agree. We need change. Absolutely. This is the great thing about learning from people like Bev, yourself, is we're going to learn something. If not, we're going to be tested on what we know or what we think we know. So that is good. But what I'm saying is, am I not wrong to suggest the absurdity is such? They're telling you over and over again they can calculate dipper dropper curves standing on the shore. You're still conversing refraction, all the stuff on the ground. It just seems like it's a controlled release. First of all, it has to be, because it just seems so absurd that somebody at this day and age would actually think that they can calculate physical curvature standing on the ground. It just seems absurd, right?
Okay.
So
let me put this to you.
mm-hmm.
Just listen. If I tell you what you see is flat, just because you don't believe me, and if you never do any tests for yourself, just going off another man, you will be a fool to just believe in another man versus doing a test yourself. If you never take up the reins yourself, you know what? I'm gonna test this for myself.
If you don't pick up those reins, you deserve to be deceived.
Yep.
Well, okay, so
Thank you,
but don't you feel a little bit that it's redundant in the sense that, okay, why are you going to it's like conversing with Zanuck still after all this time? Years ago, I've talked to Zanuck. I don't want to talk to the guy anymore because it's the same obfuscation, same tactic, but you're subjected to the same. Anyway, it's my issue, I guess. I'm just a little frustrated that we're still negotiating 6 feet curvature on the ground when it just seems like, look, if you're going to make any headway, how the hell do you do it when you keep believing, or accepting the status quo? I guess, right? How do you get out of that status quo?
This is where you have to put your mind. I showed you what I saw. I can bring to you. I can't give you anything else. It's up to you. Research. Do it for yourself. It's up to you. If you don't get it, that's not on my heart.
Absolutely.
That's on his heart.
Yeah, so you guys have to admit then, this is a warning sign. If you've never ever seen one, Flat Earth is definitely a warning sign to what's to come. Is it not?
No.
It's not? No, why not?
No. I'll give you my thoughts. I can't speak about anybody else.
Well, I'll tell you this. When it came out, 2014, I never heard of it much. But I know when Donald Trump got elected, and I discovered Flat Earth was maybe 2006, late 2016, early 17, something like that. The shit went nuts. Even in my line of work, dude, I had people threaten me because I was a certain race. I'm white. I couldn't believe it. This is 2016. So I'm just saying that from my experience, when I discovered flat Earth, that's when it was like it was my psychology changed, and everybody else stayed the same. And when everybody else stayed the same, they took on the narrative that was the pop culture, like trendy, and it's this underbelly, huge underbelly of people that are extremely resentful for having to work hard just to get a home, and it's people that make good money. This is what's scary about what's happening to society. So I when you guys say that no, I'm thinking, man, if people at this level want the government to burn and they're making good money and they're successful, holy shit, we're in for some crazy shit, because it's not us, the average people, that want to work and, like, you know, do our whatever our live life, raise a family. We're not thinking about how to run a world, maybe to be successful or, you know, earn money, but we're not in a position where we have like money and we're got a good career and we have this bitterness and hatred. Like, that's dangerous when you have money. It's dangerous when there's a lot of you. So flat Earth came right before that and was like, it popped open. I looked into it. I saw everybody else laugh and mock it. I put it away, came back to it. And those same people, no, I shouldn't say that, I'm just referencing one group, but they're, you know, influential in society. They run a very important department in the world, which is television and media, right? So they have influence in society, and these people are like, they hate.
They don't have influence. They run society.
Well,
That's why you need to ignore mainstream media.
No, I agree with you, but I'm just trying to say, since flat Earth was introduced, it allowed me, in a sense, to question, because I was like, okay, that doesn't make sense. So what else doesn't make sense, so to speak? But what I'm trying to relay is that flat Earth definitely triggered something for a group of people, particularly like you, me, and everybody else who's debating it. It's a division of the mind, right? This conversation is division of the mind, because you were raised one way your whole entire life, and then now it's divided, split.
No.
It's just a fact of the psyche, absolutely 100%. The point is,
I don't agree.
Yeah.
so
Whoa.
okay. So
Don't just sort of speak and say it's an effect of the psyche. It might be the effect of your psyche.
Okay, so wait a second. When you discovered it, you weren't angry?
No, not at all.
You weren't. Okay, not at all. Okay, so
It was a self-evidence.
Okay, so did you come to God?
No.
Okay. What changed?
Funny thing. I'll tell you this.
What changed? No, I'm talking to the other guy. What changed? Stop 1 second. What changed? If it wasn't a big deal, you didn't come to God, then what changed?
What changed? I realised that it was a self-evidence that I didn't realise, and then I did realise it. It's something that didn't sit right in my head since I was a kid, and then when it first became a thing, however many years ago, it was a self-evidence that became self-evident.
Awesome. So was it based in creation? Was it just based in observation? The reason why I ask is the people that are not willing to look into flat Earth can't do it because their mind won't let them. It's too big of a lie. I've already done personally. I've already done with associations and acquaintances. I've done these social experiments with language and different things to try to understand the impact of flat Earth.
Let's put it this way, right?
Yeah. Well, just can I finish the statement? Let me finish the statement so everybody knows. So basically, I've shown people that are very smart, very logical, very reasonable. Now I've tried different, I guess, categories of the discussion, right? So if somebody's into mechanics, somebody's, I'll curtail
to the point.
I'll curtail the question towards their occupation, and I'll challenge their occupation knowledge based on that question regarding flat Earth. The point is, if I present somebody who's good with math and geometry, and I say to them, if we put our head down on the ground at 1 foot, 1 mile away, it's supposed to be the edge of your ball. Does that make sense?
instantaneously. I've done this to people already. It's like, listen, instantaneously, they go, no, that doesn't make sense. That's their first initial thought. And then I'll present a picture of NASA with the radius on it. I say, well, that's the radius. They'll immediately say NASA's wrong. No fucking joke. But they'll still believe in space. So the funny thing is I can record that, I can document that, and I can see the mind split. Okay, the cognitive dissonance is what I mean. So we are not privy to it because we're fucking all human here. I'm interested in it because, well, first of all, I'm documenting stuff. I'm writing about the psychology of it because it's important. It's something that's happening to us, not by the stroke of God, or maybe by the stroke of God, maybe the master plan. I can't say. Maybe it's a political movement trying to remove the United States. Maybe it's, a religious movement. Who knows? Okay. Point is, it's triggered a thing within the large, vast pool of Earth, and we're just a small 500 people, roughly, that frequent Discord and YouTube. The 500 of us.
So you think there's only 500 people
that regularly show up? Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you think that there's only 500 people that have?
So I just clarified. I clarified what my statement is. So there's listen. Every human being also has.
Hang on. You've had your go.
Go ahead, man. Sorry.
You think there's only 500 people that have
cycling the channels?
Shut up.
Cycling the channels of Discord, YouTube. Yes. Cycling. Yeah. Is showing up. Maybe new.
Jesus, man.
Wait.
Do you ever shut up?
Go ahead, DP.
Because
I'm gonna say my piece after yours.
I'm fed up with him talking over me. He's just an arsehole.
Go ahead, DP.
Is he going to shut up?
Go ahead. You're thinking way too small.
Yeah. No. 500 people, he thinks.
Cycling through, yeah. So if I was to
wait.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah. Like regular cycling, I mean.
Jesus, man, I can't even remember what I was going to say. He's talked over me so many times.
Every
time I've come to make a point, he's just spoken over the top of me. So fuck him. He's got so much to say. Let him get on with it.
I'm gonna go ahead and say my portion.
Yeah, go on.
Before Flat Earth, I already had God in my heart. Can't speak about anybody else. I only speak about me. I already had God in my heart. And when I seen a video of you're at the beach, I cannot remember this video that I saw. The video said, you see the horizon with your own eyes, and yet you can see through the horizon beyond what you're seeing, what you can see, because now we got technology, P900s, P1000s, and you can see through that, and you can still see more, but yet over water it's not curving. And it gave me something in my heart. I was like, hold up. Yeah, God didn't put that there for as I can see as much as I can. But the number one thing is, right there in that moment, it hit me. It's not a ball. Second thing hit me, gas pressure without a container. Because I work on cars, AC unit, you gotta have a closed system. Keep the AC in the system to cool the car, to cycle in the car, and looking at the tire. If I ain't got no pressure in that tire, without the tire, the air can't go around the rim. That's when it hit me hard. The hardest, across the board. Whoa. That's when I took back my steps for myself to go back and do my own little research. What they've been telling us as a lie. The next man I run into, if he can't show me or demonstrate air around the rim, he can't demonstrate that, then he's a liar. As far as the gravity portion, that's all I'm gonna say on that right there. But I was God before ball, dome.
Did you
ladder,
believe in space
anything.
before? Sorry to interrupt. Did you believe in
Yes.
yeah? Did you believe they went to
I
Mars and landed
got,
on Mars?
I
And
got, yeah. No, not land on Mars. No. I had a lot. I had a lot of space movies, aliens, and all that. Love that shit. I don't like
do you look
Justin,
at
but
do you look at it differently now, or do you still watch it like whatever? I just know it's fake now.
no, I can't even watch it.
Interesting.
It's the psyche of the mind. The mind itself. Once you get showed that it's false, we'll say like Xanax. If anytime it's real talk, if Xanax don't bring up his own observation to show you the proof of the ball, then he's a liar. Or,
Yeah, see,
I'm not
that's
gonna
that's
say he's a
the
liar.
that's the difference, though. We're each
he-
individual
he's
is limited. Each individual is limited on tech. So
no way.
truly, so
Hang on,
yeah,
way.
hang on. Flat Earth Data, why do you think that everything you've got to say is more important than anything anybody else has got to say?
I'm sorry you feel that way, dude. Go ahead, Pro.
What I'm saying is, if he's gonna take everybody else's work and never do the work himself, that person will be stuck in. Let me look at the guy in the white coat. If all he ever does is look at the guy in the white coat, he don't do it himself. He'll never figure it out. I'm good. Go ahead.
Definitely, one thing I notice overall is people are thankful for flat Earth. People who've gotten into it for the reasons of self-awareness, responsibility, and maybe like a clearer understanding of who they're up against. I noticed that. And then I noticed some, it's just indifferent too. I noticed that people like Domesticated Primate there says that, it's whatever, it's so cool. I just knew that something was off, and, so there's that definite dynamic thing there. It's like a form of entertainment. That's why I started with it's a joke, because it's just like one long thing of entertainment. And now I think Ranty did a thing was kind of funny to highlight it. I've seen it many times before, but it's like people bringing their cameras out and going, "Hey, look, the airplane's doing this and the Earth's spinning," right? So I think, yeah. I think we're in for a bigger storm, guys. I think flat Earth is just it's just the beginning of the red carpet being rolled out. So
I don't think so.
Dude,
What do you mean by that?
If the red carpet being rolled out,
and you said what did you say? It's the beginning of the storm.
Flat Earth is beginning of the storm for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
What storm?
A political overhaul, educational overhaul, financial overhaul, energy overhaul, brought on by we're in war right now. I don't know if you guys know. In my opinion, we're in war, and the truth is long gone, and now education. So they're going after education. Eventually, they're going to use this pandemic thing to make sure no kids are going in, because they'll threaten basically kids will be removed from their house, right? And so the parents will keep them at home and homeschool them. But then they'll fine the parents for having them homeschooled. So it's just they're destroying the education system. That's the first thing to go.
If you ask me, that's a good thing.
Depends on what schools. There are good schools out there with good curriculums. Absolutely.
There are no good schools out there with
No,
no good curriculums. They do not teach the truth. They don't teach the truth. They teach the globe model. They teach the heliocentric model.
They're in the States.
That is a fundamentally
in the States,
wrong basis for education.
You might be glad to hear that in the States there are groups, family homeschool, that do not teach the globe.
That's homeschool. That's not the education system.
So listen, but listen, dude, they do it in a big hall. So it's just like It's still homeschool,
school. It's
but
not
it's
the
teachers,
education
dude.
system.
It's teachers coming in and doing it. So listen,
It's
this
not
teacher.
government backed. Are you fucking mental?
The point is not. It's regardless of government back. The point is people are doing it. The teachers involved. People are getting paid. This is changing on some levels, some places. Is my point. Okay, that's it. So there is math is important, English is important. All these fundamental things that we need to function in life are important if we want to do things like build, if we want to do things like engineer things. We still need math, we still need English. So we need an institution to teach these things, or people are going to be dumber than shit. The education system wants to get rid of it. We're not talking about a globe at this point. We still need a fundamental educations for these children so they can advance. At least the fundamental physics, math, sciences, anything to do with medicine, we still need it. To remove it is dangerous.
Are you
Not
fucking real?
Not at all. So just like the reform of the police, we need a reform of education. If this is what happens, which I predict is to happen, is that they're in Canada, they're going to start suing schools, because what's going to happen is lawyers are coming forward now, giving parents a right to sue the institutions based on this premise. You got my kid sick with COVID. This is already happening in Canada. So their push to online education is more dangerous, because not only can they send the right algorithm based on the demographic of the child, just like they would do to us. What the algorithm is biased? No. Maybe the algorithm gets you to go that way by sending you certain things first. You understand? So this is what they're doing for the kids system. So don't tell me that that's the better choice. We still need math. We still need engineering skills. We still need medicine skills. We need these kids protected. So to abolish all systems is ridiculous. That is more ridiculous than what you just said. Reform the education system. Prioritize math and English for and physical activities. You don't have to do. Look, reform is what we need. We need to protect the kids. We need to educate these kids in maths so they're not hijacked. They're not taken for granted in their financial world. They're not taken for granted in all levels, because that's what they use, is they use math against you. It's too complex. Einstein's field equations, yeah, they're complex. Spend a year with them and they won't be so complex, or as complex. The point is...
Hang on. You're talking about Einstein's field equations.
I was just giving you an
they're
example.
a load of bullshit.
Exactly, 100%. But I'm just saying...
Well, why would you get too used to them? And
how did you know they're bullshit? How did you know they were bullshit? You knew they're bullshit because other people told you, or you looked at them and found they were bullshit?
Because there's
That's
no
the difference.
fucking gravity.
I get it. The point is, if you know math, they can't bullshit the math. They can't bullshit you with the math.
You just know basic geometry sorts it.
Listen, when people that work in building and construction, and then I give them dimensions, and they say those dimensions don't work, and then I present NASA's information showing that that's the source of the dimensions, and then that person says that NASA's lying, NASA's full of shit, but then still thinks the Earth's a ball, you need to educate these people understanding right away, because he got the math, but his brain was still split.
That's can't have your job. That's not.
It's not my job, but I'm observing this shit, dude, because the mind is fascinating.
Do you know what? Right, this is a Discord. Everybody gets to have a chat. It's not a place for you to come and monologue.
Well said.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, of course, man. Anybody want to take over? Go ahead.
All you're doing is monologuing. You are telling us what you think, and nobody else is getting a choice.
I don't show up very often, man. So what can I say? I rant.
It's not special.
I'm not trying to be special, man. I'm just here.
And not giving anybody a chance to respond. And if anybody does respond, you just talk over the top of them. That's not what we're about here.
I never opposed to anybody interjecting or saying anything.
Every time I spoke, you talked over the top of me.
I would disagree with that.
That's your opinion.
Well, I'm allowed to disagree, right?
The socializing aspect of education is probably an important factor as well, because people need to be well socialized from a young age to be part of a community,
Agreed, 100%. Super important. mask them, put them in cages, treat them like they're sex trafficked, and watch what happens when they're older.
Wait a minute, Rams. Are you suggesting that public schooling is a good way to socialize the kids?
No, I'm just addressing the fact that the socializing is necessary part of the growth of the child and the development of the child into a useful member of the community.
It absolutely is.
Question for you guys: do you think that every school is rotten? Do you think every teaching, like if you took 1,000 schools, do you think every 1,000, like all those 1,000 schools are rotten, have a bad message for kids?
Yep.
Yeah, at the minute, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what if in a small town you've got 20 students? They're not really big into space, but they're really big into math, certain sciences like medicine, biology. They're into engineering. They don't, and they believe in creation, right? They don't teach evolution, okay? But it's a school of 20. Now, are you telling me that that's bad? Because the premise of education and schooling is not bad. What we've let happen to it is, and we're responsible for it. But we can't.
No, hang on. You've got to differentiate between the government-sponsored education system and an alternative education system.
Yeah, you've got like your parents teaching you as well.
You're not
right?
making that differential.
But here's the thing. But you're implying. My understanding is you're implying that we can't change the institutional instruction. That's what you're saying.
Not,
and I'm saying
with the government as it is at the moment.
I think if it's
We're just a small Discord group anyway. I mean, we're not going to change anything. So we can just talk about it, but like we're not going to rise up and grab our pitchforks and go and do anything, because that's not going to happen.
Don't forget your face mask when you go and do it.
Yeah, that's what they give you the face mask for. I understand that.
What's wrong, Doug? You want a pitchfork or what?
I understand that. I just think that what I find is this overall hatred towards the institution. And I think to hate it entirely is dangerous. There's certain things you definitely have to get rid of, for sure. Particularly certain sciences that waste a lot of...
I'll give you this. It's funny. I like to go back like Neo's, and when it was like Zion. Everybody waited for Neo to come back, and hey, everybody's there. We're all at Zion. What are they looking for, other than Neo?
I have no idea what.
No education, living life, just to live.
Well, I think definitely the separation is good to understand critically what's important for the kids' education. There's a lot of redundant things based on probably money that you don't need. It's unnecessary. In Canada may be different from where you guys are, because what I see is communities teaching kids how to build, teaching kids how to engineer, teaching them nothing. I live in Canada, yeah. So I see this in small communities, and yeah, it's a pretty big place, and it's got igloos everywhere. I'm in BC, British Columbia.
Yeah, I know where. I live in Canada. You don't
where are you from?
I live in Alberta.
Oh, do you? Dude, I grew up actually in Alberta. Yep.
I'm curious, what do you think, what advantages is there of having institutionalized learning, in your opinion?
Well, it depends if it's funded by the people, then the people get to choose. And the thing is when people, and this is the pollution of it, is people no longer can choose. They're sort of forced to obey, and that's not what we have politicians for. Politicians are to, it's reversed. It's gone reverse. So when you say institutionalized, I think our tax money going to what we choose to educate our kids with. You say institutionalized, you say, well, that's what somebody else chooses, what our kids need to learn, right? That's the difference in our argument?
No, I'm asking you, it's a simple question, really. What do you think the advantages of institutionalized learning is? It's really that simple.
Well, can you clarify what you mean by institutionalized?
Any any learning system that is a cookie cutter institutionalized system with
Okay,
a
so
hierarchy.
in an environment that we're in now, where parents have to work to get money, the institutional place is important. Now, if we had a system where the parents didn't have to work, one could, and it'd be enough money for the mom to stay home, and we had a system where we structured it like in the 50s, then we wouldn't be having this conversation. We just
Yeah,
wouldn't. But so when you say
I'll have
when
an
you
answer,
sum,
Mike.
I know, but when you sum it to that simple question, what's the benefit of institutionalized learning? The only benefit in this society is that two parents get to go work so they can afford a life for their kid. That's the only benefit for the
That's the
institutional.
only benefit you see about it, institutionalized learning. If that's the case, see, when I
No,
listen to you talk, it
that's
sounds to me like you're for institutionalized learning.
no. I'm for an environment where the mom. I'm for an environment where we teach women to love their kids again. So when they want to have kids, they actually want to educate their kids and stay home with them, and they take pride in that. That's truly what I would like. But we're not in that system. So the only thing I can think about is two parents struggling with a child in reality need to place their kids somewhere. It's either daycare or something. Has our values, that has our standards, maybe that's an okay place to send them because of the circumstances we're presented. We're all
That's
not
where
living in.
I agree with
We're not
you.
living. We're
It's
we're
not
not
a.
living. What's that?
You're just picking the lesser of the two evils.
I'm living in reality,
Still
though, bro.
evil though.
I'm
Well,
living in
am
reality. I
am I not?
homeschooled my
Make a
kids while they were.
mistake? Am I not living in reality, or am I living someplace else?
Well, idealism is what it sounds like, because we can't destroy the institutions. We need somewhere where two mother and father can work, where their kid can get educated, or else what happens to the kid? Okay, so the best case
Yeah, but
scenario that
slow down. I'm asking specifically about institutionalized learning. I'm not saying throw out education.
okay, in this case, I'll give you a school that is funded. This particular school has a new change in policy. They're not teaching the standard form of education. This school in British Columbia teaches about art, music, math, social, all that stuff, but it's not geared towards the regular school structure. This is for different kids who are really talented in music and really talented in drawing. That's a school. So listen, there are things that benefit the kid.
When
Institutionalized.
you say school structure though, so
Yeah, the standard structure. So, like for instance,
Can
in
I get
other
the
countries,
question, dude, or what? Like seriously, I see that you're very passionate about the subject and you have a lot to say, but you do have to, let me finish what I was gonna say, which I'm not sure I remember now.
Yeah, he's good at that. He's
Yeah,
good at.
yeah, sorry, DP. When you
So,
say
no, I'm just sorry, mate. Go on.
Yeah, when you say school structure, what do you mean by that? So, in other words,
so
a
for
system
instance,
where the teacher.
will you ask the
Let
school?
him finish his question with you.
Well, he just said school structure, so let me
My
elaborate on school
life.
structure.
Why are you so?
He asked about school structure. Let me
He
elaborate on
was
school
still
structure.
making his point.
I think he's just passionate, DP.
I want kids and all kids to have a future. Okay, so not all. Listen, I'm good
Hang
at.
on,
I'm,
hang on.
Okay,
It wasn't.
so
Yeah, go on.
thanks, DP. So, when you say school structure, we're talking about a system like where the teacher is the authority within the system, right? And what the teacher says and does is the law, or what?
So the school structure would be you have this particular course at this block, this particular course at that block. You have a break here. That block is that's the structure. Whatever,
Right, so that's
whatever.
Institutionalism.
Yeah, sure. So there's other schools that when you get into class, first thing you do is start learning music, and then you go to math. Second thing is you go. Listen. Second thing you do is
we're talking past each other.
No, you're not. You're not listening to the change in the system. I'm trying to say that. I'm saying that there's a change in the system happening before our eyes. I don't think that's okay, but I'm seeing maybe a blend, a little bit of a homeschooling with a little bit of institutional instruction, right? That's what I see prevalent now. And what I see is other schools changing their priority based on this thing. So in a sense, maybe it is good in the long run, but the kids still need to know basic, really good reading and really good math skills, man. With those two facets, and whatever talents you got as a kid, whether you play sports or whatever, those two facets will give you a head start. And so I think we have to maintain those two things. And I don't know if every mom is capable
I
of.
feel like you can't keep up on track with what I'm trying to say, or maybe I'm not doing a great job of explaining it, or maybe I'm not getting enough of a chance to explain it. But whatever.
Okay,
it's cool.
can I tell you what I think?
No. Listen, the only thing I'm gonna say really about it is I'm not against kids learning shit. And
Yeah, that makes sense, right?
It's know how to read and do math and stuff.
Yeah, so that's
But
basically
you're
what it is.
missing my point entirely when the way it seems like it anyhow. The way you're.
I think that's deliberate.
No, let me say your point back. Your point is to say that you're still taking an authority from a teacher. Somebody else is instructing you what to think and what to say. Basically, is what you're saying. This is institutionalized. It's coming from the teacher, right?
My point. It's not in its entirety, but it's getting to be my point. Yeah.
Okay, so I heard you, right? The thing is that these teachers are innocent. They're not malicious, is the point. And so this vindictive. It's really important to distinguish that, because that's the difference between idealism and reality. Idealism says these people are evil because they're passing evil and it's all evil.
But those words never crossed my lips.
Didn't say they did. Just saying that you have to look at that and acknowledge that idealism is not reality. We're in a war.
Hang on. It's not
we're
the
in war
teachers.
right now.
It's not the teachers that
Not
have
yet.
this institutionalized view of the world. They are teaching a curriculum that is given to them by the government.
Correct. Yep.
All they're doing is passing on the information that they are told to pass on.
Yes, I agree with you. So fundamentally, you still have to learn math and English. So the institutions are changing now. Like I just said, we still need it for the kids, man. We need some sort of structure, societal structure for them to go to. Now, if that ends up to be communities having their own homeschool community, like community hall, then I'm all for that. We need to have kids learning together in.
He just cut out then.
Maybe we can write emails to the.
Did he just cut out then? Or was that just for me?
I think that was just.
The point is.
I think you were the lucky one, Biff.
Sorry, guys. Go ahead, man. I'll shut up.
No, I can tell you.
Want kids to fail, man.
Who does?
The government, the people that are pushing all this stuff.
Well, go and change the government.
Whose responsibility is it to educate your child? Is it the state?
The government?
Or is it
No. Here's the thing. If we're living in a perfect world where two parents didn't work, then it's a different ball game. When you ask that question,
we're all
you listen.
Responsible for.
Yes, you're right. But when you impose that question, you negate the structure parents are raising kids in. So it's sort of like not an approach. It's
why are parents both working then these days? Why aren't one of them at least staying home?
Because the government makes it more expensive, so they can. So hopefully this is the way.
It's not more expensive. It's the choice of how you want to live your life.
Well, true.
If you want the fanciest iPhone every month and a new car every other year, and that house and the renovation and then the bigger house and then the bigger house after that, then suffer the consequences of not having a relationship with your family.
I agree, but now you're adding another variable.
Do you want to stop your monologue and let him finish his sentence?
Thought it was done.
I was pretty much done.
So
talking over the top of everybody.
But I didn't. I heard him finish and I began.
No, he was still talking when you started talking.
So don't deflect from the situation here, the conversation. Parents are put in a position, parents that have kids that maybe couldn't afford kids, having the concept of saying to a person that you're in love with, can we afford a kid? It's a wrong concept right away. It shouldn't be a conversation, period. We should be in a society where people should be able to procreate.
You're bringing this conversation
people
up.
can make that choice.
I
But
agreed, but listen,
But
listen.
hold on. Flat Earth data, everything you're saying is shit that nobody brought up in this conversation. It's like you're having a complete conversation with yourself.
With yourself, yeah.
And trying to tie it to us because you're just talking here with us.
No, you just said to me about the parents living a lavish life, and that's your consequence. That's why you can't afford to take
But
care of
you're
your kid
talking
at
about
home. That's one circumstance, right? That's one circumstance. It's true. It's a very plausible, very rational circumstance. I am not talking to myself. I'm speaking to you, gentlemen, and I'm trying to convey.
Do you
that
have kids then?
I do. I'm trying to convey that we can change the people that are running the system by complaining and doing something about it. I get a little resistance on the idea because
we're not big into complaining. Yeah.
But
yeah, it's a form of idealism.
It's more
coming
about
from me, right? So,
like
But here's the
solutions.
thing, yeah, like why would you play with a system that you know that's crooked and say
Exactly.
that you're
Because-
somehow going to fix it by voting?
no,
It
it's not.
doesn't work
It's
that
not by.
way.
It's
No.
not. It's not. But it's not necessarily by voting. It's about pressure too, right? A lot of people resign from pressure. So, for
It
instance,
seems
if
like you don't understand that the system's in place regardless of the people that are in the seats of the system.
hear me out, gentlemen. Let's say all of us on this panel right now were
Hear you
part
out.
of
All we've been doing is listening to you.
So this is a great scenario. So let's say all of us in this channel are on a soccer team, okay? And there was let's say there was a
I'm no
referee
good
or
at football.
just hear me out here in the scenario. We're all on a
We're going
soccer
to
team.
lose on this soccer game.
Yeah, can you be left back, Flat Earth Day?
Yes, no problem. I'll sit on the bench for you. I'll warm the bench.
Left back in the changing room.
Yeah. The point is that we're on a soccer team together, and we have an issue. We would come together with that issue, and under pressure,
I'd
we
be
had
the issue. I'm shit.
I'm just saying, we could do something as a group. Groups are very powerful. The individual is very hard, but groups are powerful. We all know this. So I know we're not going to, like Bev said, this is not one of those channels. I get it. I'm not saying this is what I'm saying. We should be that channel. I'm just saying that if people took more interest in those avenues, there would be change, because it would be that individual at the office getting email after email. I don't like it. You better resign. They'll eventually resign. It's just what happens.
Flatter,
You know?
Go and
Let me
start
use
your
your-
own Discords.
Yeah, let me use your own soccer example and explain something to you. Let's
Sure.
say you're in a soccer game, and every time you score a goal on the other team, your team gets half a point, and the other team gets half a point. And every time they score a goal on you, they get a whole point. Are you going to want to play in that soccer game? Or are you going to say, "Fuck that, we'll never win. There's no sense of playing." Right? That's the way the system's stacked.
Yeah, I understand that, but see,
Well, then why play? Like
because
you're
here's the
not
thing.
going to
Here's
fix
the thing.
anything by
Here's the
working
thing.
with
The mind is
system that's
the mind
stacked.
is yeah, but the mind is split. So you
Humans
can
live in the country.
Your
Okay.
mind might be split.
no, I can actually go and do things to show that the cognitive dissonance in people is real and document it in real time.
Document the cognitive dissonance in this room with the people you're talking to right now.
I'm not documenting you guys. I'm not in that category of
Well,
thought. I'm not in that category of thought. I'm just look, man. I'm
It
coming from a
seems to me
place
like
where
you have cognitive dissonance in the fact that you think you can work within a crooked system to somehow make
No.
the system better.
like I said, I said it as idealism that you could change it, but I'm implying that as a group we're more powerful, that you can actually get people out of positions of power.
But I just telling you, it doesn't matter. Do you honestly think that, for instance, Canada would be going in a different direction one way or the other if someone else besides fuckhead Trudeau was in power? Like, do you really believe that? That somehow Canada would be such a better country otherwise? Or do you think it's going in a certain direction regardless of who's the figurehead sitting in that seat?
Well, when you read Agenda 2030, dude, and you realize by then they don't want any Canadians to have property, you might want to start
Don't
saying
shoot yourself in the foot.
you might want to. No, I'm not shooting myself in the
Right.
foot. I'm saying that Agenda 2030, which is on Health Canada's.
Yeah, because you're just
No.
right. So you're just about to point out it doesn't fucking matter who's in that fucking seat.
No, what I'm saying
Because
is
there's already agenda laid out by powers
Yes.
that be, whoever they may or
but
may not.
it's not acted on and the people in positions of power, a lot of people don't know the situation. So we don't know the variable of what would happen if a lot of people woke up. We might see it this 2020 election. Maybe not. The prediction is Biden. But the point is...
Prediction Biden. Who are you
yeah,
listening to? MSN?
no, dude, I want Trump to win tenfold.
Point
But
is that there is
listen,
no
listen.
choice. They're two sides of the same coin.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was just going to say the fact
true.
that you're
To
to win or
Hydra.
not win says that you're still within the system and you're the one with cognitive dissonance.
No,
You should be
listen, man.
stepping out of the system as much as humanly possible.
No, I've seen lawyers in action change things. I've seen lawyers go
Oh.
after politicians and have them arrested and
But the
fined.
system has stayed the
Listen,
same.
in Parksville, British Columbia here, they have now passed the bylaw. Anybody enforcing COVID restrictions will get fined or go to jail. It means any politician, any police officer, anything. It's Parksville, British Columbia. So I know it is possible at certain
But
levels.
the system
It
is still
requires
the same.
Yes, but it requires knowledge and it requires a great awakening, which is happening. And Flat Earth is that. That's why I said earlier that I think Flat Earth is...
Flat Earth is not a great awakening.
And
No,
it's not
I'm-
going to go big time mainstream.
Flat Earth is a warning sign for whoever's introduced to it of the craziness that's to come. The reason why I say
That's
Biden's
your
being elected...
No, that's the
reason-
flat Earth is the end of the line for the
It is.
craziness.
So
Not many
all the
people get
conspiracies-
here. Not
True
many
enough,
people
yeah.
get here at all because they get distracted and thrown off by all of the other crazy bits.
By other crazy
before.
shit, yeah.
You've got to be seriously committed to just finding the truth to get here and to be talking about just this.
Especially this deep into it.
And there's no changing the system. The
I think
system will change given time and the change in demographics and attitude in general amongst the people, maybe.
So you guys don't think we're in a war right now? A very,
Yeah.
very
What are you talking
silent...
about a war? Like a war with what?
Well, there's...
Like what war? What do you
there's
mean
a-
by a war?
There's a war on terror, there's a war
Like
on
two
drugs,
equal
there's
parties
a war
that
on,
have
you
both
name
have
it.
equal
There's
chance of winning.
wars everywhere.
So there's a war on education. There's a war on health. There's a war... That's what's happening, right?
It's a bit dramatic, isn't it? Come on.
Yeah. But I
Who's
just
the
wanted to
enemy?
say that Flat Earth is definitely a bell's warning. Things are gonna get crazier out there. And
Why? Because, like, that doesn't even make sense.
so I'll tell you what
the thing.
happened.
Oh, no. Just stop for a second. Here's one thing I never understood. You're starting to sound like Mark Sargent in a way, because what he always says is, "Oh, if everybody knew the Earth was flat, everybody would go back to God, and everybody would hold hands and sing Kumbaya." But the crazy thing is, it's my understanding that 500, 1,000 years ago, and then as far back as written history goes, everybody knew that the Earth was flat, but yet there was still wars, there was still sickness, there was still government, there was still people that didn't believe in God, there was still people that hated God, there was still all this shit. So this idea that, now that I finally know the true shape of the terra firma in which we're standing on, we're gonna all get along, is the craziest fucking idea I've ever heard in my life.
It won't happen, dude. I agree with you. 100%.
Well, then, what do you
That's
think
ever
then,
been.
dude?
Class war. It's
Yep.
always been a class war.
Yeah, exactly. But what do you mean? What do I think?
Like, well, yeah, but you seem to have this idea that flat Earth is some kind of pivoting point for history.
It's basically it's a warning bell, yeah, for people who've gotten into it. It should be a warning bell for them. And the reason why I say, the reason why I say,
you want to know how I got into
For
it?
the people
I
that got into it, though, what's that mean?
so what I'm saying, okay. I can't tell you what the future is, but I can definitely predict it. Right? We can all.
Not the same thing. I can't tell you what the future is, but I'll predict it and tell you what
That's right. I can't really tell you what it is. That's why I can predict it. Right? It's a very straightforward
Right.
statement.
Go on and Mystic Meg, off you go. Let's hear your prediction.
Well,
Double speak.
the prediction is Biden's going to win. this is coming from a professor.
What the Bible says about false prophets, just before you go too much further,
Yeah,
right?
hold that thought. You can tell me after. The point is that this professor, I was just watching an interview today. He's predicted every election for the last 15 elections. Okay, he says that Biden's going to win.
Oh well,
Right?
if he
Now
says
hold on. Let me
Wait a minute.
finish,
Are you're Canadian and we're in England? Like,
yeah. And
well,
that's another.
Like, what? You're
whole
Biden.
world revolves around
Dude,
the United States.
I don't want Biden to win. Just let's get that straight. I'm telling you this.
Who fucking cares?
I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
either one.
Seriously, who fucking cares who wins?
Okay, so I guess you guys don't know what that means then.
It doesn't
Will
mean anything.
fundamentally change. Either way.
That's what I've been trying to say earlier. Is they're just a figurehead, dude? It's not gonna fucking change. It's if you think it's gonna change something, well, congratulations.
So are you guys?
Everything was going to change when Obama came in, and then he had 8 years. He had, majority in the House and all that sort of stuff. They could have implemented all sorts of great lefty policies, but they didn't
it was
do
just a
anything.
shit show.
In fact, they were worse than any.
So wait a second. You guys
and
aren't.
the same with Trump winning. They thought everything was going to be for the better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think the right's going to be the one to impose everything. Anyway, the point is
The
the
right,
left.
the left, they're
That's right, but there's
two
always
legs
a
of the
left
same
swing.
bird.
In politics, there's always a left swing, and then a big right comes. It's historical. It always happens. It's a psychological push to the left.
The same body.
Yes, but it's a psych. Listen, guys, listen.
Like,
It's
you're
one bird
the
with
one
two
in
wings.
cognitive dissonance,
It's
dude. I
one
hate to
bird.
say it.
It's one bird. No, I've seen at a local level that if you push people out of positions of power, you can change the system at a local level. So stop with that nonsense. You can do it.
You're in
You
cognitive
can
dissonance on
you
this
can
thing.
create a community that is without the
fact
NASA.
you're
That
trying
would
to have this conversation about who's going to win the election tells me you're in cognitive dissonance.
Point is that the policies are different for either party. Yes, they come from the one bird, but the policies are different on both sides. This is a fact. This is why the
people write the policies.
So listen, there's still people on either side that benefit from either policy. So if the left have their policy, the more people on their side benefit than the people on the right side. They both still benefit because they work for the one bird.
Yeah, they all benefit from you talking about it. It's all bullshit. All of it.
No.
Well, it's all bullshit in the sense politics is all bullshit. Yes, but I'm at a local level. When you come together, you can actually convince a group of people to come together to change laws. With those laws, you can educate your kid, protect your family, So at that level, you can. So the system is acceptance, or is accepting of those changes. According to you, it's impossible. It's not worth it. This is what I hear. I say it is worth it to try to do these changes at a local level and come together as groups to put people out of power.
It's at a local level. We're all on the internet. And like we just said, you two are in Canada and we're in the UK. What you're talking about local level?
I'm not talking. Look, this is just an idealism, right? This conversation came from Flat Earth is a warning bell. You
said to us, though. You said it's a warning bell to us.
That's right.
What,
it is
for
to
what?
Everybody who's involved. Well, how about this?
All so far I've had is that somebody in America is going to get elected.
No.
That's a warning bell for what?
So he said it's a warning bell, but he
That's
hasn't said for what.
Okay, so I'm just saying it. So how about?
No, Bev. When Biden gets elected, your life is going to be better, Bev.
No, it's not.
No, it's a warning bell. It's a whoop whoop.
Flat
I don't know what.
For sure. Well, first of all, you guys agree that we're in a war, right?
No. Well, we established that when you said it at first.
So
there's no war going on here. We're just on a Discord group.
There's a war on drugs. There's a war on terror.
Political leaders telling you to wear masks, having curfews,
Who's
imposing.
got a curfew?
No.
We haven't got a curfew.
Okay, maybe not you.
I can stay up as late as I want over here in Alberta.
So you don't see any political, any of your political leaders.
Don't watch the telly. Don't read the news.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm on the. I can't really argue with that, because if I'm going to tell you that your politicians are putting in all these laws and all these changes, and you guys are not aware of it, okay? I can't really have a conversation with you about it then, because then
Well, you're not having a conversation. You just diatribed. That's all you've done.
I've had a conversation here, dude. You just might have not liked it.
Were you going to tell us about our laws in our country and what our
Not at all.
or were you going to tell
Not
us
one
what
bit.
your laws in your country and your politicians,
No,
or
you know
perhaps
what I
American?
Yeah,
Here's-
that's it, America. What
here's
I find
what's
funny
happening.
is that for some reason or another, all conspiracies and all politics and all world events are
in America.
somehow
Yeah.
wrapped around.
Everybody's pointing a finger at Trump now, right? Nobody's
No,
looking
so-
anywhere else. It's just look at Trump. Everybody look at Trump.
I quite like him. I quite like him.
So
actually.
wait,
I think
so
he's an idiot, honestly, but whatever.
Wow. I was just trying to. I was trying to be different.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to come against you. I think he's a master troll. That's about it.
I'm
He's
looking
a
for
fucking-
Rantadamus, but I thought that was be a good one to put up at the minute. I can't find it though. It's gone missing.
Nostradamus.
You need.
No,
Rantadamus.
Rantadamus.
Do you want me to go and get it? Then?
No, I think I might be. I'll have a look on my phone. That's where I'm going next.
Hang on.
So since your introduction to Flat Earth, and you guys don't watch anything other than
what?
what's online,
Introduction to Flat
What do you
Earth.
mean? I don't
Nobody's given me that yet. I've not
So-
had
so
that.
no,
Must have
no,
missed
no,
that day.
101.
Nobody's welcome
Flat
to
Earth
me to
101.
Flat Earth.
you never watched a video by Mark Sargent or Eric Dubay or any of that.
Nope.
It's funny because
No.
when I started, I saw Mark Sargent. I wouldn't touch his thing because it had a fucking pay
I
service.
wouldn't touch his thing
It's
anyway.
funny.
I
Definitely.
wouldn't touch his thing
I mean,
either.
His-
I definitely wouldn't pay to touch his thing.
Yeah, it's fucking this channel had a pay service.
His fucking
And then-
channel, I wouldn't
Probably
and then
been
Eric
too near
Dubay-
Patricia Steer.
Eric Dubay was all into Jew hating, right? He was like worshiping Hitler and shit. That was when I searched Flat Earth. Those were my two people that I came across first.
Worshipping Hitler.
Yeah, he sent a video. He's got a song.
It's a bit too strong,
shouldn't
that,
say-
isn't it?
I shouldn't say worship. Yeah, it's maybe a little bit. How about promote?
It's my understanding that Hitler actually was a good leader up till a certain point. He turned the country right around until things got crazy.
It's my
he-
understanding that the Americans were giving him a load of money. They were backing him at
absolutely.
first, and then something
It's all-
happened.
listen,
What
it's
they
all.
the
Apparently,
establishment
the
actually-
Catholic Church had their money in there someplace too.
So it's
the
all a ploy
establishment
for the.
backed both sides of the war.
Exactly,
So-
it's all for the Balfour Declaration. That was all the purpose for. So Hitler was used as a useful idiot, if you will, to bring about
Same as
the
Einstein.
Balfour
Yeah.
to bring forth the Balfour Declaration. But the point is
So what are you
that
saying? He wasn't a bad guy, or he was? I'm confused.
he's a meth head and a sex freak, dude. So I don't really hang around meth heads or sex freaks. So if you want to if you think meth heads and sex freaks are good people, good on you. At the end of the day, I don't.
Wow, that's a bit strong, right?
Yeah,
Hitler's a meth head, dude. Hitler
Did they
was a
have
meth head.
meth back then? I thought meth. Was fairly
Methamphetamines?
new.
Methamphetamines? That's not new. They give it to fucking go research war, dude. What they give to their soldiers. Meth is what the Nazis took.
I thought that was acid
Hitler-
back then.
Hitler was having. You go look at all the videos. So if you guys think
Calm
Hitler,
down.
Bev.
you think Hitler's a good guy, you guys are fucking out to lunch.
I didn't say Hitler.
Whoa.
Wait a minute. I asked you if you thought Hitler was a good guy.
Yeah.
None of those people that orchestrated any of that stuff were good because they had to kill a lot of people to get it through. Anytime a government does that to push forth a movement, same as George Soros,
Is
confiscating
George Soros government?
the practice, my friend. These practices aren't new, right? These are inherited.
Partisan government. I'm
These
confused.
inherited practices of extortion, these inherited practices of espionage, they're not new. It's just regurgitated and kept them in small groups. So, then we're going on to anyway. The Mark Sargent, Eric Dubay, no goes for me. I understood once I understood that 200 proofs came from other guys, and then I started reading Gerard Hickson. Euclid's Elements.
What about Matt Powderland? Did you like him?
No, I didn't. Not at all. Not one bit.
Oh. You don't think he's good for
So
the
what is
flat
the
community?
flat Earth alarm bells ringing? What's it warning us of?
So politically, what's changed since?
I asked you
So
this about a
politically,
week ago, and can you enlighten us what the warning is?
What's it signaling?
Oh, is he gone?
Yeah, looks like that.
Oh, no, he's coming
Oh
back.
no, he's back again. So
Well, if I'm boring you guys, man, I can always put myself on mute and listen to your guys' conversation.
No, we're keen to know what the warning is.
Yeah, we wanted to know what you had to say right there.
Okay, so if you don't think anything significant is happening, but the reality of being at your age, your disposition, your present understanding of the world you live in, and you grew up with one cosmology and then you're presented another, you've split your mind. Because you grew up with one. Maybe it was easy to transfer over to the other side, no problem.
To the warning? Can we just get to the warning?
Pretend we're all super woke here already, right? Let's give us.
So politically, nobody follows anything politically here on this channel, correct?
I don't know. I can't speak for anybody else, but me personally.
I don't. Yeah, I don't really.
Okay, so you haven't noticed that if you don't follow politics, you wouldn't notice any political changes.
I got an asshole in power in Canada. Other than that,
it's always been.
So if you're not up with politics, is it fair to say that you wouldn't know what's changing the landscape? And then to your defense, ultimately, it doesn't really matter. It's just a one face that represents the same thing. Doesn't really matter. It's insignificant of these political changes, right? Because it's all from one bird. Is that kind of the present understanding?
I'm not sure what you're saying there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's to be done?
I'm not sure how this is.
Okay, so what I'm saying,
to his warning,
because
either.
the warning bells comes in what you understand what's happening politically. So we have a school system that has a.
That's not flat Earth.
Yeah.
Can I finish though? So I know it's not flat Earth, but you have to realize who's allowing flat Earth to who inspired flat Earth on YouTube. It was YouTube, right? YouTube allowed it to go. YouTube flourished it. YouTube sent all the videos. It was YouTube, right? Essentially, it was YouTube.
What do you mean by flat Earth? Exactly.
Okay, so if you use the Wayback Machine, maybe it's changed now. If you go to catalog or record the induction of flat Earth online, it's 2014 roughly. There might have been some searches in early 2005, roughly 2007, early searches, but most were 2014.
Okay? They've got all that shit under control now, so we'll never know what searches are ever being done. We all know that now. So whatever happened in the past is something that could have been doctored. We could have been told it because they were trying to push an agenda. But what we do know is that right now, they could tell us anything and nobody would know. You could just make it up and that would be information.
What do you mean? Give me an example. What do you mean make it up? Like in reference to some subject or some topic?
Well, yeah, you're going to go on about the searches that back then to now. Well, we don't know what the searches are now because the people that are telling us what the searches are also stifling views and comments. And
Flat Earth is not being censored at all. Not one bit. It's not. I've done it. I've done enough. It's not being censored one bit. It's not being promoted, but it's not being censored. Okay, that's what you have to realize. It's not being censored.
Yeah, because people they want the stupid to be shown. So when people like Fight the Flat Earth put Flat Earth tag on, that's the Flat Earth that isn't being censored.
No, I've used my channel.
I've never been recommended any videos from anyone that I actually follow, but I get recommended all sorts of shite from Creaky Blinder, Fight the Flat Earth.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Flat Earth data.
Yeah.
Yeah. See. That's the thing. Imagine having the name. How pretentious is it of a name to have Flat Earth data? Pretty pretentious, right? So you think that you would get the most interest, right? The most. So I created a channel, a YouTube channel. I created a website, and I used Google Analytics to do the demographics studies. When it started, what demographic was interested, what demographic does it now, and you'd be quite surprised. So there is a small percentage growing. It's very, very trickly. Okay, so it is growing, but very trickly. I don't know if that helps you, but at the warning sign, the warning bell.
Is that a real word?
Trickly. I just made it up because it sounds fun.
Oh, sounds like tickly, but more like trickly.
Exactly. So you're having fun with it already.
You guys are cracking me up in here tonight, man. Theta's got a lot to say, and you guys are like, quit the monologue.
Yeah, sorry, man. I don't come on very often.
He's passionate, right? He's passionate.
Yeah. Guy's a big talker. If you got a show and
we
you
never
don't want
noticed
dead,
he's a big talker.
Yeah, if you don't want dead air, man, invite Data on because he will keep it alive. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we don't follow politics much around here.
Yeah, I get it. So you wouldn't understand what I'm correlating to unless you understood politically. Now you do come from a position of truth, which is they're run by the same people.
You don't understand fallacy, but go on.
Yeah, I'm trying to be fair and represent your side at the same time. Give a clear idea of what I'm trying to tell you, which I understand.
What you're saying is just that the world is changing.
Basically, if you want to sum it up simplistically, yeah. But in the way it's changing,
the world is always changing.
No, this is different. I'll tell you why. We've never in history. Please listen.
The only constant thing.
Yes,
is
we've
change.
never done this. I shouldn't say we never.
Yeah.
Data Donald. We should have never released prisoners. Okay, so what's happening the first time ever? Okay, in Canada. I'm not speaking anywhere else, just Canada. We are releasing sex offenders, murderers back into the street. And in fact, I think there was a criminal offense today.
I'm not so sure they're releasing those type of...
Yes, they have. They've already documented. Yes, 100%. I promise you. I'm not making it up. I'm not trying to be grandiose here. I'm telling you facts. The idea is that they were worried about COVID, right? So the report said is that to reduce the spread of COVID, we released these prisoners. No joke. So,
but I don't think they released the violent offenders.
They have. Listen, they have.
I feel ripped off because I wasn't in jail when this happened. Like, I really feel like I wish I was on like a 10-year sentence.
Death row.
This could be arranged.
Yeah. Off you go. Off you go, chaps.
Yeah, we don't want you to get COVID and die.
I'll put a warrant out for you right now, man.
Anyway, it's absurd, right? It's absurd, right? They're letting criminals out of jail. That's why you're questioning. No, that doesn't sound right. They wouldn't have let that fucking hard guys. Yes, they did. They let out sex offenders and murderers. No joke.
You'd struggle talking to my missus, right? She wouldn't have any of that.
Jails are mostly populated by non-violent drug offenders, so they'd be the first ones to be let go. Any stories about violent offenders being let go would just be propaganda. I mean...
Do you have any data on that, Flat Earth data?
Yeah,
I could probably dig up an article here. Give me a second.
It's 100% proof.
Yeah, but that's all propaganda, man. They want you to believe that shit.
That's not a mainstream media.
So I get it.
I feel ripped off.
I get it, boys. I get it, boys. But the point is that they were promoting. So the Marxist extremist concept is removing prisons from society.
Well,
prisons
do you have something that we can look at before we really talk about it much
more? This is the approach. So remember I told you that the left swing, it has to go hard left for the hard right to come? The hard right is...
Do you want to go and get something to back yourself up before you carry on this conversation?
All right, it's sounding a bit, I don't like saying this, right? But this is sounding like the conversations that we have with the ballers, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Just making statements and nothing to back it up with.
Fear is a lie. That's why I don't listen to all that stuff. They want you to live in fear.
Well, that's you know what, I honestly believe that, Clary, that even with the elections, you vote for the least of the two evils, which is a vote based in fear. If you're gonna send your kids to school or not, are they gonna wear a mask or not, all these things, it's all fear-based, and to live in a constant state of fear does have an effect on your psyche, your health, your mind. It's crazy.
Yeah, you don't want to die and burn in hell forever, right? Fear.
Yeah,
So
right.
you,
So,
you buy
yeah.
what somebody's selling.
Right.
Yeah, but why is everyone such willing so willing to surrender their security to
I think
some
they're
other
numb
force?
with fear, man. I think
Yeah.
there's this expression: if you don't rule yourself, you will be ruled, or something along those lines.
Yeah.
It's fear porn, man. You ever watch those
So
movies
true.
that are out, like End of the World, Zombie, it's all
Yeah.
destruction, fear.
Yeah, flat Earth, fear the warning bell, things like that.
Actually, yeah, flat Earth is a scary thing. They sell
it
flat
scary?
Earth as a it's
wasn't
dangerous.
scared. I wasn't scared when I
Geometry is
first looked into
dangerous,
it.
man.
It does
Oh,
scare people, right? It does. That's why they sell the stupid. Because
Right.
behind that stupid thing, if you actually accept it, then you have to realize that, there's much more
you're
going
in
on
fear
that
of
you.
being stupid. If you
Yeah.
look into
It's child
it,
abuse
right?
teaching children Euclidean geometry, man. It's dangerous stuff. That's what they sell. They
That's
sell
that flat
fear.
Earth geometry, you mean?
It's all fear. And, it comes from the institution of school. A lot of it is from a very young age. Kids are taught in school to kind of make fun. You're taught that this is the way it is by the teacher, and you don't question. These are the answers. Even if there's a potential different answer or different viewpoint, it doesn't matter, because this is the viewpoint of the institution that you're in the school, and this is the answer you must give. And if you think outside of this box and try to be creative, you run the risk of being ridiculed by both the teacher and the students. You get bad grades.
All right,
from the teacher.
stop monologuing now.
The students make fun of you, so then you learn at a very young age to be scared of.
Yeah, school's good
saying
because
or
you have
thinking.
friends and you meet
No, you're
girls and you have,
ridiculous, dude. Oh, yeah, 'cause
that's
what
the good. That's the good part, You interact.
Mhm.
You have social interactions. You build up your immune system.
Yeah, you're
and all
really
that kind of
concerned
stuff.
about getting a person socialized in the system. I hear that, but I just don't agree.
No.
Yeah,
You're
that's
taking
what
it
you've
too
been
far.
saying
Hang on.
all
I
along.
was
No, you continually talk about how important it is to
I'm
socialize
not
a
Data.
child.
I don't know who
Oh,
you think
sorry.
I am.
I'm jumping on Cleary.
Sorry, I was fucking jumping down your throat.
Easy. I'm not Data.
Yeah.
Dude,
Wow,
what I'm
Data. This is who I was talking to with Data.
Anyway,
No,
yeah, like
y-
there,
y-
there are good things about school, that, but they're isolating people now, and it would be good to have some type of institutional learning that was not government.
It's
propaganda
subtle though,
bullshit.
right? The whole system it's a subtle system that the teachers do, they do use the same sort of tactics that the ballers do. If you get there first, then it's a lot harder to undo that and to teach the truth afterwards, right? So the teachers in the school will they'll go in and the teachers will say things to initiate a thought pattern within the students. Then the students won't try and backtrack that and ask questions, because all of the other people will point a finger at them and go, "Are you stupid? She just said that. Why are you asking a question about it? Because the teacher just said it." So that's like the whole.
Sounds like a globe head.
Yeah, that's how the teaching system works, right?
You're stupid if you believe in flat Earth.
I did a
Love the
year
truth
at
that Earth
teachers
was round.
training. I was in that system.
See, I guess you guys don't think about how kids who have flat Earth parents deal with it. So imagine a girl who has a flat Earth dad, me, who doesn't impose flat Earth upon her, but gets her to question the math and sciences. But she still goes to school and she has.
You can't impose it on children.
No, but
the children have to find their way on their own.
Exactly.
You can give them a balanced view,
Just
but
show
you
them the
can't
Tesla.
impose your belief on them.
Just show
Here's
them
what
the
here-
convertible Tesla in space.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no. My kids discern between. My kids discern between that, but I don't think you guys put it into perspective that thought because you guys don't have kids in school. So you have to think about how to
Sorry, who doesn't?
Why are you making these assumptions?
Yeah.
I think earlier when I was talking about an education system and seeing other communities who have pulled away from the regular structural institutional version have successfully embedded a practicum that shows that you can teach kids how to learn with math and sciences without being subjected to, evolution, the Big Bang, spinning ball stuff, right?
How many of those people are Congress people and senators and successful
up the
business
rules.
people?
And right now in the States, it only seems to be a small community in the States. I can't remember what state it is. Bible state, obviously, where they are basically homeschooling their kids now in big halls, right? Not homeschooling, but conjugating to big community centers and doing it there with teachers, and they have a curriculum, right? So they have that structure.
As long as they determine their own curriculum, then I guess that's a freedom being expressed by the community.
Yeah, they don't teach evolution. They don't believe in evolution, right? They teach creation, which is very dangerous, apparently.
Do they teach the concept of evolution as the rest of the clownish, crazy
Not at
people
all.
of the world believe it?
They don't teach evolution at all. They don't believe it. They teach in creation. They use the Bible as reference for creation. Now, how they do biology, I haven't gone that deep in their curriculum. I don't think they've gone that level of biology, because I think once you go to that level of biology, they are going to use evolution, right? But at that rudiment level for
No, they don't. If they're teaching creation, they don't go into evolution in the biology.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying
Well,
I'm saying
telling you,
outside.
I know from. Okay, go ahead.
Outside of that structure, I don't know. This is now, right? That we're talking about when they're grown up 10 years later, right? I don't know what that system's going to look like for that structure that they've built now. I'm just saying now, presently, they don't teach evolution. They teach creation. They teach Bible, math, English, social.
Talking about in America, right?
Yeah.
You're in America, right?
No,
I'm in Canada.
No, you're in America.
Yeah, North America.
Yeah.
I don't want to steer the conversation too much, but I read through this article you posted, Flat Earth Data, and I don't see anything about like serious offenders being let go.
So that was
Unless
a quick
I missed
search.
it. If you could
That was a
point me
quick.
to.
So
you
don't.
didn't read it or what?
No, hold on. I did a quick search. I didn't get the article that I read. This was months ago. I'd have to go look it up harder. I spent a quick search to show you that they were releasing prisoners based on COVID.
Yeah,
No, hold on.
That was.
Releasing murderers is what I stated. They were releasing sex offenders is what I stated. Give me some time to find those articles. Because
low-risk offenders nearing the end of their
Got it.
sentence have also been released from custody under temporary absence passes since April 2nd.
Yes, I got it. So, So the point is,
Baller. Ballers don't research their citations either.
Maybe you didn't think I was going to read it. I don't know.
No, dude.
I think that's what the ballers think, that we won't read them. But how many
I agree with you.
Honestly, Flat Earth Data, like I don't know why you would post.
All right, give me a fucking.
Make your point, dude. I'm not saying it's not true, but I'm just at a loss to why you would post an article that really doesn't make a point at all.
Because it makes my point that they were releasing prisoners. It doesn't make my point they were releasing.
Nobody disputed that point.
Yeah, nobody disputed that point. Exactly.
Okay, so do you think it's logical to release prisoners on a fake virus or the flu?
Well, some of the prisoners that are in there, I don't even think should be in there. Any marijuana.
That's a whole. Well, there's no marijuana charge. There's no marijuana charge.
The contention was that they were releasing violent crime offenders.
Yeah, give me a second. I'll look a little harder.
I don't believe
Give me a
fake
second.
news, man.
Yeah, matter of
Why
fact,
believe
it
what they're
says
saying?
quite the opposite, though. It says that they're low-risk offenders. They're at the end of their, basically early parole type thing is the way this article makes it sound. Even if it was
people
a high.
that should never have been locked up.
Anyhow, he's losing the argument on this so far, but.
Give me a minute. Let me find.
Like I said, I'm not saying it isn't true. You just haven't proved it to be true yet. So That's all.
A newspaper report isn't proof of anything. There was a newspaper
You're
report
right.
that people landed on the moon.
Yeah, no,
They
you're right.
showed
Claire.
that one on TV as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, even with the newspaper report, he's still not really making his point. That's all. That's my only point. And I agree with you, Clary. Just because it's in the newspaper doesn't
what
mean
was
shit.
his point he was trying to make as far as social? He was making a social point. Irrelevant who the fuck's getting released. They said that down here in America, they're releasing fucking violent criminals.
Oh, did they? Where? You got proof of your
Washington.
claim?
What'd you say?
You got proof of your claim, Steve? Because
No, I don't. I don't give a fuck. I mean,
well, no, but it's
the
one
whole
of those
thing-
things.
well, the whole thing's fucked up, guys. They're releasing prisoners, and
Yeah,
who
but-
knows what the fuck they're doing.
But it's like this, though. Listen. I live up in Canada, and there's a lot of Canadians that try to follow political fucking shit from the States, or they watch too much fucking TV. And I hear a lot of people saying, oh, Trump's racist, or Trump this, or Trump that. And you know what? Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. I kind of don't care, but I always play this game with them, and I say, oh, well, what exactly has he done or said to show that he's racist? And you know what? The people that I talk to in real life, like day-to-day, face-to-face, they can't give me a fucking answer. They just look at me like a deer in the head, like, well, you don't think he's racist? Well, I don't know, but you're the one that's saying it. So,
Yeah.
like, do you have a comment that we could talk about, or something that he, something he implemented that shows it? Like, why do you say this? And they ultimately, they don't say it. They don't know.
Everything's
Sorry.
a person, right?
He's the most ad hominem dude in the world.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a master troll as far as I'm concerned. But
Boy, he's a great actor.
And he's being criticized for things that Obama was saying. Like, if you actually analyze the both of them and the decisions they've made and the choices that they've made, Obama was much, much worse.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
they've
but-
got this crazy obsession that the orange-haired man who is not a politician, and that's the key point here. He's not part of that community. Well, he really wasn't before, and
Well-
that's what people hate about him.
I
And-
could
and
kind of make an argument against that, but I won't. Just because, like, he is a multi-millionaire and he's
Yeah,
got to know
yeah.
politics, right? But I know what you mean. He's
Yeah.
not like a professional politician. But
That's right. I mean, look at the way he speaks.
Yeah.
He's not a
he
career
actually
politician.
speaks what he thinks.
So hey, I posted in the chat there the substantiation of my my claim.
Okay, let's see. I'll
Just read out the-
read it. You guys
Yeah, do
talk.
it. Yeah, please. No, read it out to us.
Global
So that
News, really good source. Global News.
Well,
Where
that's
is
Canada
the chat,
news.
guys? Where do I find the chat?
Live stream. Oh yeah,
Live
you've not got the
Does somebody need some rolls?
yeah.
So the point of me showing these articles and telling you the warning bell, right? So politically, things are changing. The environment of everything that was once good is now bad, and everything was once bad is
Okay,
now
whoa,
good.
whoa. Okay, so it says a growing number of suspects arrested on serious criminal charges have been ordered released from custody. So,
So they
did
haven't
you ever
been to court yet.
Right. Did
Doesn't
you
even
ever
say
hear
anything
the
about
idea of
prison.
innocent until proven guilty?
Just keep reading.
Like, so a guy could make an argument that they shouldn't even be in jail to begin with if you're truly innocent until proven guilty. Okay, I'll keep reading. But
Yeah,
this
they
is
just couldn't make bail.
right.
That's all
these
it
are
was.
that have been arrested on supposedly serious charges. They're not convicted. These aren't convicts. But anyhow, so a week's judge.
Yeah, people that just didn't make bail or
Mhm.
whatever, that haven't been to court yet, so haven't heard their issue heard.
Okay,
So
so there was a
it
guy
says-
that was released.
So-
A man was released accused of firing a bullet through a girlfriend's apartment window. Well, okay, so that's what he was accused of. I don't know. I wasn't there.
So judge releases growing number of accused violent crimes.
Yeah,
accused
they're
violent
accused,
crimes.
dude. They're
Yeah.
not criminals.
But they're
Yeah, I'm
accused
sorry,
crimes.
once
So
again,
They're
So
not
listen-
criminals. You said they were
Yes.
releasing criminals from prison.
have you ever heard of a government releasing people because of a flu when they've committed a violent act?
Dude,
Well,
now
no,
you
hold on.
you are
See,
changing your
yeah,
claim.
but you're
No.
saying they committed a no, hold on.
Again,
You
they're being
said
accused of a
just
violent
now,
crime. They're being
there's
accused of a
difference
violent crime.
between being accused
Sure.
and being convicted. A
Sure.
huge difference. Okay, so they're letting people out that have been accused, not people that have been convicted.
One is accused getaway driver for a recent Toronto murder attempt, although allegedly pistol whipped a tourist, two in Ottawa over a drug debt. The third,
until it
Okay,
goes to
hold
court,
on.
you don't know, dude.
it
Honestly,
doesn't matter. You've
You
never
can't-
in your.
matter.
The
No,
point
listen.
is.
No, you
The
know
point
what?
is.
Listen,
The point is.
let
Don't
me-
calm
let me-
down.
let me say
Calm
something.
down.
Oh,
Calm
come
down.
on.
Calm down. Calm down, please. Calm
You
down.
that needs to calm down.
Calm down. Never in your lifetime have you ever
no.
seen a judge release anybody accused without trial, without any judge saying. You've never
Dude.
seen anybody just released ever in history. Number one, this is a fact.
Dude.
Don't
Slow
keep calling
down for a
dude.
second.
This
Well,
is the
just let me
truth.
tell you
They're
something.
not
Let
released.
me
They're
tell you
bailed
something.
out. They're bailed out until their case is heard.
They're being
listen,
released
you might think
based
this,
on a
just
flu.
Let me tell you
Dude,
something.
I
You
can't
might think
deal with him. I've
Don't
muted
take this
him.
the wrong way, but y'all need a private chat room.
Yeah, listen, this might be anecdotal, but I've had 7 very, very serious criminal charges. What? Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to just say being accused is not a crime.
Yeah, and you can have 7 very serious. I've had 7 very serious charges laid against me from 2 different events, and all of them were dropped. All of them because of lack of evidence. So this
Right, and they
idea
just
that
have all those
because
people
someone
stored up.
was charged doesn't have anything to do with whether or not they really committed a crime.
False accusations, man.
Yeah.
You know.
You
Some
know,
of 'em.
it's like what you're suggesting is like that as soon as anyone's arrested,
They're
that they
automatically
should be
guilty
in
is what he
jail,
thinks.
that they should stay in jail until they're acquitted.
Guilty until
their
proven innocent.
their case is heard, they should be locked up.
Yeah.
No.
No, not a chance.
That's Canada.
well,
That's Canada for you, though.
Yeah. No, America. That's America. I do
Yeah.
play
North
that
America.
game, buddy. No, America. America.
Turn up, are you back? No.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's and these articles are saying that these people, they're not convicted criminals. So it's
His claim was that they were releasing convicted sex offenders and violent criminals, so he's not substantiated his claim at all.
And you would like to think.
No matter how you slice it, our police system is fucked up.
Oh yeah. Honestly, you want to think that even. Oh, am I roboting?
No, he sounds alright.
No, you're good.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
you
was
better
just gonna
drop
say
out.
you want to assume that the police and the judges and prosecutors and everybody are making an educated guess of who they should allow to be out on bail and who they aren't. It's not like this article is even that much different than the other article. The other article says to let people out that were near the end of their sentence, and this article is basically saying they're letting people out on bail. It doesn't mean they still could
I've heard-
do a life sentence when they go.
I've
to
heard
court.
stories of Americans going into Canada and getting detained and not being able to come back to America
Yep,
based
there's
on allegations in America.
Well, I thought you were going to mention something else different, though. Right now, there's an American dude that was driving from Alaska into the main part of the United States. And he was driving through, I believe it's Jasper or Banff, I think Jasper. Anyhow, if you're traveling by vehicle from Alaska to the United States right now, they're allowing you to drive straight through Canada. Don't stop, don't pass go, don't collect $200. Just go from border to border back into your own country. So this dude.
That's pretty
from
unrealistic because I don't know how long you think it takes to travel
Well,
the whole length of British
yeah,
Columbia.
No, I know it is
I live in
unrealistic.
British Columbia. I know how far it is to drive from the bottom to the top. I live at the
Yeah.
bottom.
No,
And
I
it
hear you,
takes
but Anyhow,
just to
Tiff,
get
just so
halfway.
I could finish the story really quick. This guy from Alaska came through and stopped in the mountains for a night or two to just kind of look around in the mountains in Jasper. And right now he's stuck in Canada and he's facing a $15,000 fine stopping in Canada because of COVID-19.
Well, it's just America.
Yeah, it's all America. That's what he should tell the judge.
I'm in
It's all,
America. but
it's
I'm
all in
also-
America, isn't it, Judge? I don't
The
think
turnip
that's gonna
defense.
fly. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think that's gonna fly. I didn't know Flat Earth Data was Canadian. That's like 3 Canadians in here so far. Me, Flat Earth, and Turnip.
That's how fucked up the situation is.
Hey,
There you
come
go.
on, man.
Oh, that's funny. Nah, Flat Earth, I hope you're not angry with me. I see that you're very passionate, but you're just a little bit off on some of your figures, at least, especially with the
Flat Earth Data is
release.
we
Huh?
were just giving you a hard time.
He's he's trying to allude to some more, sort of big picture sort of stuff that's going on, and and
But the big picture, he's out there fighting.
But nobody knows the big picture, so
I can't wait to see if Joe Biden wins the election now, though. I'm pretty
he
excited about
won't.
it. I don't think he
He-
will. I think
Nah,
Trump
he's
will
Yeah.
win
just a
again.
he's a
I've
dummy.
got a feeling,
Trump's
Trump will
going to
will win
take it
again.
landslide.
He's just a dummy candidate. He's a sacrificial candidate. He's worthless. They had to burn somebody, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why not burn him?
I'd like to
He-
see
he's burnt out
Biden
anyway.
get in just for the
Yeah.
laughs and for the pure entertainment value of such a clown.
You mean Trump's not entertaining enough for you?
No, because the media already hate him. So it's not that much fun watching them poke at him.
Yeah.
Wait till the Space Force is active.
It
That's
already
going to be
is
some
active.
shit. Are they doing
Have
anything?
you seen any of the blooper reels of Biden over the last?
Oh my God, Biden! I can't even. He's crazy.
I
Oh,
saw the
man.
pedophile shit where he was grabbing little kids right there at the
Yeah,
photo
that's
op.
pretty weird.
Sniffing hair. Mm.
And his
Yeah,
VP, that Kamala
very
Harris
creepy.
bitch, man, nobody likes her. And, she got torn down in the debates by Tulsi when she was talking about her record on justice. So she kept prisoners in prison and went and argued that in court that if she was to let them go, that it would disturb the prison labor force, which sends these guys out to work for 23 cents a day. So
See,
it's
guys,
I'm just
literally
waiting.
slave labor.
I'm
Yeah.
still waiting for. I'm still waiting for DMOC to put his 1 cent in. Is that 1 penny? 2 cents? I don't know.
Oh, what a shekel? It's a shekel, isn't it?
I don't know. I haven't heard him say anything. I was
Don't
just trying
get
to
'em.
make a 2 cents joke.
Don't get them going.
DMOC hasn't said nothing over here today.
I know, right?
The fuck's wrong with you, DMOC?
You
Not
must be
feeling good?
busy.
He must be sleeping.
Yeah, you must fell asleep on the job there.
Well, Data's muted, so it's real quiet in here now.
Yeah, I muted him. Anymore.
What? He's all right.
They're hard on him in here, man.
I'll let him out again.
Really?
Yeah, if you want him out, I'll let him out.
Release the Kraken.
Yeah,
No.
and then
I don't care either way. I like.
let's have a vote.
Yeah, I'm
Let's have
going
a
to be
show.
going
Guys.
soon anyway.
Yeah, me and all. Yeah.
What do you guys think about the COVID thing now that they've got all these trials of vaccines out?
I made a shocking discovery today when I was hanging out over at MEUK's Discord server.
Are we gonna keep on fighting? Are we gonna keep on dividing? Are we gonna keep on fighting? Are we gonna keep on dividing? Well, are we gonna keep on fighting? Are we gonna keep on dividing? Are we gonna keep on fighting? Are we gonna keep on dividing? Well, did you hear what I said?